Hey, man.
Hey, you ready to do this thing?
Yeah, man. I hope everybody shows up tonight because we've got a very special show.
It is a
It's
very
going to be a
special
special.
episode.
Yeah. I, I,
On a very special episode of Something About Something.
I want to take, if I can take a few minutes before the show, I want to read a poem that I made for the podcast wife, being Valentine's Day. And so just
Okay.
no, just humor me on this.
Okay.
This is a Valentine's poem from my dear podcast wife. Oh, dear podcast wife, you are more than someone who runs the comments or censor Todd Vesey comments before they come up. Yes, more than someone who checks the audio mics or more than someone who focuses the cameras before the show starts tonight. I say no, you are more. You are much more. You're the one that makes me sandwiches at acceptable times and bring me coffee at my every beck and call. You clean my castle and my throne and rush with my chalice before the game comes on. And with every sound of my bell, I hear a yes, dear, rolling off your tongue. Oh, yes, dear, you are so much more. Your blessing, husband, my.
Oh, I think we should start. It's a Something About Something show with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling, if he actually gets back in his seat. I don't think she liked that, Mike.
So
are you okay?
So how's your week?
My week's pretty good.
Wait a minute. We just got a heart after I got the crap beaten out of me. Look at that. Someone just... We just got
the show.
They hearted the show after I got the crap beaten out of me.
It was Jason. Yes, Daryl McCarty, already violence.
Man.
Jason said he's going to steal that poem.
Oh, I don't give her anything hard to or anything to throw at. My goodness.
That was brilliant.
Hey, before we get started, did you happen to see...
Hey, Rob Moore.
Hey, Rob Moore. It didn't take long. No, it didn't. Oh, I need an ibuprofen or something. Oh, my goodness.
Need an ice pack.
I feel like Elon Musk just put like little wires in my head to play Pong or something. Oh, my goodness. Wow, so some nerd stuff, and I'm going to be in and out. If I start speaking Hebrew, you know that I'm just passed out. WandaVision, did you get a chance? I'm not going to spoilers or anything. I mean, we're just going to touch on this real quick before our special. But man, what a show.
Oh my goodness. WandaVision is spectacular.
It was good. I posted on the SAS Nerds group, I found it on Instagram, that somebody was talking about what a great idea to have Dr. Agent Wu and Darcy come together and do kind of an X-Files for MCU. That would be awesome.
That would be brilliant.
That would be brilliant.
That needs to happen.
That needs to happen. I mean, it's perfect having these two people who are not really big names in the MCU universe, but I think are likable enough that can carry on a TV show.
Yep, I think so too.
And what about that Super Bowl trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Oh man,
that is awesome.
I'm so looking forward to the show. I've been looking forward to the show for a long time, but that trailer just, oh man, it made it even better. And I love that there's going to be conflict.
Oh, I know.
Like,
well, I mean,
they get along, but not quite.
Yeah, and this is not a spoiler. It's in the trailer, but I love the part where it's almost like they're in couple counseling,
Yes.
And she said, she looks at them both and says, "What, are you both 12 years old?" And they look at each
you
other
both
and they
children?
say nothing. Yeah,
Yes.
both children.
She feels like she's gotten a breakthrough, and she goes, wait, are you having a staring contest now?
That's right. Oh, that was hilarious.
It's brilliant.
We were talking about it earlier where we were concerned, before the show.
Yeah.
We were talking about how, we were both concerned that as individuals, they couldn't carry a movie.
Yes, because
Yes.
at some point, it feels like somebody needs to take the Captain America mantle.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't feel like either of those actors really are strong enough to carry a solo movie as Captain America. But together, I think it works.
I think together. I think they both together can be the essence of Captain America, even though I think, we'll get that to another show. But
Yes.
I look forward to seeing that. Man, it's going to come pretty soon, too, in March.
I know. March. Yeah.
Awesome. I think there's going to be WandaVision will be like a week of nothing. And I think right after WandaVision, so
we'll have that will be awesome. If Disney could just keep that up, just as one show ends, you get the next show started. That would be brilliant.
That would be awesome, man. So tonight is our Bromance Valentine's special. We talked about some of the
yes.
We talked about doing something where and the bromances. You know what I'm talking about. There's those two men relationships where they're best friends. They'll lay their life down for each other at the same time. They irritate each other sometimes. And anyway, but there's going to be.
I can't imagine how that feels at all.
I can't either
at all.
Not on this show. Not on this show. Oh. Ooh, yeah. So I thought, since we have a whole lot I'm going to say unload. That's later.
Unpack. Yeah.
Unpack, not unload. I don't got my depends on. I think we should. I know.
You already talked about cleaning your throne, so.
Yes, I know. in my chalice. So, do you want to go ahead and do some stupid news, and
Let's
then
do
we
some
can
stupid
we can do
news.
some stupid news. Let's do this thing.
It's the Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Hey, this is Mike Schilling with some stupid news. And police in Los Angeles said 6 people were arrested. It's an angel of Los Angeles. After that bump on the head.
It is the bump on the head. Tiffany, I think you may have given him a concussion.
Yes. I'm going to use that to my advantage when she says, "Hey, take out the trash." By trash. So
I don't think it'll work.
I don't think it's going to work either. I'll probably get hit again for
Absolutely.
that. But anyway, police in Los Angeles said 6 people were arrested after altering the Hollywood sign to read "Holly Boob."
I saw that.
Have you heard that? Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that?
And I never did see a picture of what it was supposed to try to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And valiant attempt. It just didn't quite work.
It seemed kind of lame. Yeah, they said the perpetrator said it was breast cancer awareness message. The Los Angeles Police Department said the 5 men and 1 woman climbed the hills surrounding the sign and threw a tarp bearing a giant letter B over the W, and then they added a dash to the final D to make it look like a second B. Yes, so the police said the 6 people who claimed the stunt again was intended to raise breast cancer awareness. They were released, and anyway, so they were released, and so anyway, but yeah, so there you go. If you have nothing better to do with your life, there you go.
There you go. That
indeed.
is quite the stunt for breast cancer awareness.
Now, if Todd Vesey is out there, I know that we always kind of give it to the Florida man, but
yes,
apparently
yes,
Oklahoma, we have the same thing, and this is interesting, and let's just Apparently, and this is our legislature in Oklahoma. We don't get into politics, but this
Oh,
is too
I know
good.
what you're going to talk about.
That's right.
I mentioned this to somebody on Facebook the other day.
Well, apparently, okay. Apparently, now, we all know the Bigfoot, right? Well, apparently Bigfoot may not be real for some, but one lawmaker in Oklahoma wants to create a hunting season for him anyway.
Yes, Bigfoot hunting in Oklahoma. Thank you very much. Brought to you by Oklahoma.
Here's one of the sightings right here. Oh, that's the wrong one.
I
Wrong
think that's
photo.
Chewbacca.
There you go. That's the wrong photo. But they say just don't plan on actually shooting the large furry creature. I want to be really clear that we're not going to kill Bigfoot, State Representative Justin Humphrey said behind the bill, told the Oklahoman. We're going to trap a live Bigfoot. This is one of our people, one of our statesmen saying we're going to trap a live Bigfoot. We're not promoting killing Bigfoot as if he's real. I don't understand. We are promoting hunting Bigfoot, trying to find evidence of Bigfoot.
Shad says he's so for this.
I know he is. The bill doesn't specify that. The text, as introduced by Humphrey, directs the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation Commission to create rules, dates, license, and fees establishing a Bigfoot hunting season.
Yes.
Now, Humphrey told a Oklahoma City news station that he would work on specifics with the commission, which includes, get this, which would include a $25,000 bounty for someone who traps the creature.
Nice.
The funny part, the commission said they're not interested.
Imagine that.
The commission says we use science-driven research and we don't recognize Bigfoot in the state of Oklahoma. Micaiah Holmes of the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation told ABC News Station in Oklahoma City, adding that the bill would require them to create a new season and a license for something that doesn't exist. But Humphrey said it would be a great for tourism and outdoor recreation. Having a license and tag would give people a way to prove they participated in the hunt, Humphrey told reporters. And if they find Bigfoot, well, hey, this is just even a bigger prize. Just Bigfoot. Now, this is Bigfoot might be safe in Oklahoma. Now, this is interesting for now anyway. But while multiple states have laws protecting animals not otherwise named Sasquatch, he said, but he is specifically protected by name in Washington State. Go figure.
That's nice. Yes.
Go figure.
Yeah.
However, he might. This is now. Listen up, if you're out there, Sasquatch, and all your little Sasquatch out there. However, he might want to avoid Texas. The Lone Star State's laws allowed hunters to bag a Bigfoot on site.
Nice.
Nice. He said if Bigfoot did exist and wasn't human, then it would be legal, said David Sinclair of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. So Bigfoot would be non-protected wildlife in the state of Texas. So, hey, be careful,
Well,
Bigfoot.
There you go.
Hey, yeah. Don't go
Don't
to
mess with
Texas.
Texas.
Don't mess with Texas, or you're going to be like a full fur rug. Woo.
Oh, my goodness. That's great.
And I know, isn't that something? And this one overseas, this is interesting. They said China's master fighter, and it talks about tradition in Kung Fu, China's master fighters to preserve a painful looking tradition. Wang Lu Tai. Wang Lu Tai is no ordinary Kung Fu master. The 65-year-old man from a village in central China practiced a unique and excruciating-looking form of martial arts coined Iron Crotch Kung Fu.
Okay. Oh.
Yes.
That does not look comfortable.
In the most famous,
attractive.
In the most famous technique involves a steel-plated cat blog, ranges 6.5 feet in length and weighing 88 pounds that swings through the air and smashes into a man's crotch. When you practice iron crotch kung fu, as long as you push yourself, you will feel great, said Wang. I think it's funny the guy's name is Wang. Anyway, as a side note. Said Wang. Said
so
Wang.
much wrong in
said
this story.
Wang. Guess this. Say Wang, head of the town's martial arts academy.
Imagine
Anyway,
that.
Wang, who has practiced the technique for around a half a century, has 2 children. Insisting that with correct methods and sufficient practice, it does not hurt and has no effect on fertility. The iron crotch, mastery of which has gained by taking hits to the body's weakest points while using a breathing techniques to inure oneself.
Is this real?
This is real, man. I can't make this crap up.
Oh my gosh.
This is just one element of the form of kung fu that has been practiced in Wang's village. I'm sorry, I can't help it. For the past 300 years. The style encompasses scores of attack techniques as well as resisting pressure, pain, or hits to other sensitive areas.
Oh my gosh.
We also have iron throat, iron head, iron chest, and iron back as well, said a 53-year-old fellow kung fu master. Now get this, and I don't understand this. There were once 200 people regularly practicing in the village, said Wang, but now there's only 20. Imagine that.
I wonder why.
And that is stupid news.
Oh my gosh. This has been the Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Silling.
All I know, I don't want to Wang Chung with that guy. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh man, there are so many things so many thoughts running through my head right now.
That is the real deal. So
many bad Chinese names.
Wang Chung tonight.
Yes.
Chad Stewart and me were on the same wavelength. Wang Chung.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Ow. Oh, so anyway, hey, real quick, since it's Valentine's and this is our special, I thought I'd pull up the 12 funniest, maybe dumbest Valentine cards out there, and guess what? You'll get to read them. And so,
all right, I have my glasses this week, so
that's awesome. So, Valentine's card number 1.
There is nobody else I'd rather lie in bed and look at my phone next to. Happy Valentine's Day. Nice.
Number 2.
I love you more than I hate your farts.
And number 3.
I still love you. That's just wrong.
And this is
I tolerate you.
And that's the one I got last year.
I could believe that.
And for you history buffs out there, yes, Marcus
said, ouch.
And for you history buffs out there, World War II history buffs, be mine.
Be mine.
Aye. And
you do.
You'll do.
You'll do. You'll do
now.
For now. Wow.
That's a long-lasting relationship.
Man.
And that paper looks recyclable, too, so there you go.
I know. Woo. If there was a zombie apocalypse, I would kill you last. Oh, that's sweet.
That's nice.
You're the reason I get up in the morning. Just kidding. I have to pee. Yeah, well, there's that. We didn't murder each other during lockdown. It must be love. Now that one, yes.
That's
that's
appropriate. That's very appropriate.
That one works. Jason says, I bought the card that mentions the cell phone. Wife was not pleased.
Hey, Todd Tolton, welcome to the show. Todd Tolton, howdy to you, my friend.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
You suck. Less than most people.
There you go.
You should have hit the button.
I know I should have done that, but you know,
It would have been funnier.
It would have been. I was too busy.
You can hit
listening
it
to,
now, but
it's right now. I don't have it probably. So I know. I wasn't prepared for that. I know. That's the wrong one. Let's go to the next one. Hope you can read this one. Let's pop this one up.
Loving you is like having diarrhea. I just can't hold it in. Yeah.
And number 12, the best for last. And I had to do a little improvising, but here we go.
You light up my life like hot sauce lights up my yeah, that hurts.
Okay, fellas, you got your choices. Head out to the Walgreens, wherever you go, CVS, to whatever the Walmarts. Pick up these cards because I think every one of them says "I love you" to your wives or significant others. So
absolutely.
Hey, there you go. There you go. All right, man. Now it's time for bromance. So
yes,
let's talk about this. I have a section that I call.
Are we gonna? Go ahead.
Well, I was saying we're going to start with, we have a couple categories. The main categories are nerd-related, sci-fi and fantasy bromances that we know. I have a couple of and that's going to be like quick, and then we're going to have a bromance debate on some of these characters.
So real quick, are we going bottom to top, or are we going top to? Are we going 1 through?
Well, we're going to go from
1 through 16,
down.
or we're going to 16 up.
16, yeah, we're going to start from 16, go down, and
all
so
right, cool.
anyway.
I'm with you. I am tracking with you now.
Now this one, kind of another topic. This is a potential bromance, right here between
Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson, Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're so looking forward to this show.
Yes,
I think it's going to be a bromance eventually.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I mean, they kind of had that in Civil War, when they were both sitting in the back seat and Cap was getting a smooch by, I guess, the great granddaughter of apparently his love, which that was creepy. That was creepy.
Later on, there's so much creepy in every one of these shows anymore.
There's a whole lot of stuff. Anyway, it was a lot of inbreeding there I didn't want to talk about. But I think from the Super Bowl commercial, and you hadn't seen it, we talked about it earlier, where it's you can see this becoming a bromance between the two.
Absolutely.
They look like they're going to be.
It's going to happen.
Like siblings, bickering siblings. So
yes. Oh yeah, absolutely.
On this next one, this is kind of a love-hate relationship. This is from the Clone Wars and also from the Star Wars prequel, the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker.
Yes. This is a great one here. Yeah. Because it's kind of, there's a bit of father-son, but not quite. There's a bit of older brother, younger brother, but not quite.
Well, it's almost like a kind of sibling thing because Qui-Gon, before he died, he promised, he asked Obi-Wan to promise that you would take Anakin when he was a child, and he wasn't excited about it at all. And of course, the council also warned him that, we feel much fear in the boy. And so anyway, so as you know, if you've seen the prequels, and especially Clone Wars, things start to get dark, and pretty soon the brothers become... Anakin has more contempt, and eventually, Obi-Wan basically barbecues him at a picnic.
Yeah.
So,
well, and then later on it gets a little worse, and Anakin kills him.
Yeah. I mean,
so that's one movie.
By the way,
movie later that was only 40 years before.
That's pretty wild, isn't it? But it's kind of a classic tale, you think about it, and then of love and portrayal. So,
absolutely,
yeah. So, the next one here, and I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan, but I have watched some of it, and it's between Jon Snow and Samwell.
Oh, the Game of Thrones.
If I watched it, and they have this relationship where they're almost like brothers. They, especially the Night Watch. They both. So have you seen some of it?
I know a little bit of the story. I attempted to read some of the books.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get into it.
I didn't read the books, but I did. I'm one of those people who they go, "Oh, you have to read the books. Don't watch the movies." And I mean the series, and I watched the series. But the two of them, they go through a lot, and John, protects him as a younger brother, and they kind of, I don't know. There's definitely a bromance there between the two of them, and especially how they fought off the Night Walkers getting close to the end. So anyway, that was on my choice. Jason Hamilton says got to book 3 and lost interest. Yeah, I don't know if that would be something I'd be interested in reading the books. I've never seen Game of Thrones. I mean, read the books, and I thought it was interesting.
I made it about halfway through the first book, and I'm just like, I wasn't connecting. There were too many characters too quickly. I just didn't follow them well.
Del McCarty said, read them all, watched it all. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not saying it's bad. I didn't track with it. I'm more into sci-fi anyway than I am fantasy.
Fantasy, yeah.
I love the Lord of the Ring books, but I don't know. I couldn't. I tried really hard to get into this one. I just couldn't.
Well, some of these I try to put some kind of order, and then some of them you didn't know I just threw in. But this one right here, of course, in the comics, there's kind of a bromance, and of course you see some of it in Deadpool 2, the relationship between Cable and Deadpool, which is hilarious. I read an article which was funny that Disney at one time I don't know if you read this or not, but they were wanting to have Deadpool and Wolverine do like a road trip. I mean, this is a real deal. Disney at one time thought about having the two and doing some kind of road trip type of theme. I think it would be hilarious. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, but I think Hugh Jackman wants nothing to do with Wolverine anymore. But
it
sad
sounds like
because
he's done.
I think he's done, but man, just to be able to do it one time, just one time.
Yeah.
So,
even if they just did a road trip movie and they weren't Deadpool and Wolverine.
Have you read
just
any
let them be Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, there's just the two of them, man.
Yeah, just the two of them in a movie would be hysterical.
Exactly. Have you read any of the comics with Deadpool and Cable?
Many years ago. X Factor, later X Factor stuff. I was into the earlier X Factor just as Cable was starting to come around and Deadpool became a thing. I read some of the early stuff. But about the time I started really getting out of purchasing comics was about the time they really got to be a big things.
Now, Jason Hamilton says Jackman's goodbye for Wolverine was flawless. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I agree.
It was.
I agree.
Now, concerning Deadpool, again, I'm not familiar with the comic books. I just only know what I've seen of Deadpool on, Deadpool 2, Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I can't remember the guy's name, but what would you say about the relationship between him and the giant silver dude? The, what's his name? The X-Men?
Oh, Colossus.
Colossus. I mean,
that's weird.
Is that a weird deal?
I don't know that was. I'm not aware that was ever a comic book thing.
Okay.
I think that was just a way to get him tied into the X-Men franchise for the movies, and I think Fox was trying to build up to something else, and just never.
Never got to.
Deadpool 2 kind of, it threw them all together, but I don't think it ever went where they were hoping it was going to go.
Well, it could be interesting, especially with WandaVision doing, could bring in the mutants, reboot the whole X-Men thing, and then Ryan Reynolds being in the fold.
I think that's where we said we weren't going to do spoilers on WandaVision.
Well, that's guesses. We're guessing.
Yes, okay? This is a big guess.
It's a guess. I'm not.
It has always been my assumption is
it's a
Wanda
guess.
was going to be the reason we're going to get the X-Men franchise into the MCU.
Yeah, so that's a guess. I have no clue. Todd Vesey, Florida Man is online, cable free, and streaming 24/7. That right there, my friend. There you go.
Congratulations.
Cut the cable. VC. I'm sorry, VC. I'm sorry, Todd. I call him. I call him Vesey. I don't know why, because of the S. VC. VC. Okay.
VC.
VC. VC.
Yep, that's it.
That was fun. So the next one, I don't know if you've ever seen, but being a BBC file, Shaun of the Dead.
I actually, I feel bad. I really want to watch this movie, and I just haven't.
No, I understand.
There's no reason. I so want to see this.
Yeah.
It sounds. I think the problem is I'm not a huge zombie fan in general.
I'm not either.
I'm not a zombie fan, but this just sounds like something I would really, really enjoy.
Well, they also they did Hot Fuzz also.
Yeah.
That was one that also.
I like the whole British comedy thing anyway,
yeah.
And I think I would get into that. I just haven't seen it, and he is hysterical.
Yeah, exactly.
He's really funny.
It's really good. Let's see here. Jason Hamilton, I cut cable when I got my own place, not because I'm cheap, just because I don't like cable. There you go.
There you go.
So the next here, and of course, this is...
Daryl says, we're not talking about the thing. I'm going to die if we can't talk about it. We talked about it. Was it last week?
Yeah, we did last week, I believe.
We talked about it last week. Go watch last week's show.
Yes.
And we're not talking about that thing. That thing.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that yet.
Oh, no.
Not today.
No.
At least not on this show today.
No, because
we need to make a spoiler. In the Facebook group, we need to put a spoiler post for WandaVision.
Yes, we
so
do.
People can spout all of their things and get it out. I'll try to do that, Daryl. I'll try to do that this week. I'll try to do that tomorrow. I got stuff I got to do right after the show. But I'll try to do a spoilery post, and everybody can pile all their spoiler for WandaVision into that post.
There you go. And if you don't want to see the spoilers, don't look at it. Look away. Don't look away.
Yeah, exactly. Look away.
Of course, now I'm back to my childhood, and I don't know if this falls under sci-fi or not, but it's just different. What would this fall
Michael
under?
Knight and Kit. Is this a bromance? I don't know. Kit's not exactly.
I know.
He's not a real person.
I know. But
yeah, I don't
know. I mean,
I would go. I would be okay with it. I don't know if it's a bromance.
As long as it's a bromance and not a romance, that would be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird.
I don't even want to go. And Daryl McCarty, I don't want to see any comments about that. Okay. You got to watch that guy in the group. You got to watch that guy. He likes toting the line. So anyhow, the next one I really liked when I was a kid was a great show, Quantum Leap.
Yes, I loved this show.
I love this show. It's Sam
I'm
Beckett.
slightly afraid they're going to reboot it and it's going to be horrible.
No, don't do it. Or they're going to try to make it funny and make it stupid. It's like...
Yes.
It was Sam Beckett.
I think they need to leave it alone.
Yeah, it was the Sam Beckett and Al Clavicle.
I don't even know. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, because I'm going to
His name is Al.
Yeah, Al, because I'll say something like a... Now, the next one you were telling me about, Kit and the whole thing, but how about these two?
Okay, this one, I'm okay with this one.
Okay.
Fry and Bender, they are two of my favorites. I love this show.
Yeah.
I love Futurama. Fry and Bender are quite the pair. I love seeing them together. It is a love-hate relationship. All humans must die, but Fry's okay.
It happens, man. That's a great one right there. That's a great one. The next one is for Supernatural fans. It's basically, I don't know if you've seen this or not. It's Dan. Basically, they're brothers, Dan Winchester and Castle. They're brothers, and they basically investigate these supernatural events. Apparently, their father at one time was involved in it. I've seen some of it recommended by Jason Hamilton from the SAS Nerds group, and it's they've been on for quite some time. So I think they just finished up their season not too long ago. So anyway, Supernatural, it's pretty good. I've seen it.
Yep.
It's definitely Supernatural. The next one I'm a big fan of. Okay, even though it may be cheesy, I didn't like the movie.
You didn't?
It was okay. Okay. It's just Kurt Russell sometimes, with this mullet kind of.
Kurt Russell can almost ruin anything. I understand.
But you know what? But I do like MacGyver with his mullet. So here you go. You got Jack O'Neill and Teal'c from Stargate.
Yep.
Love the show. I
really loved the movie. I loved the movie, and I really got into the show at like the first season. Mm-hmm. But then I just kind of, I don't know why. I just kind of lost interest at some point and just never went back to it.
Yeah, I mean, what did I just do? Sorry about that. Let's see here.
Did you turn me off temporarily?
I guess so. I meant to. Yeah, sorry about that.
That was weird.
That was a bromance went bad right there. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not the great special effects. I just like the relationship. Usually, if you want to have a bromance debate, some say, well, Daniel, who was the scientist, him and Jack O'Neill, but Teal'c and Jack O'Neill, I think there's a bigger bond there, and once enemies. So anyway, that's one of my favorites. The next one is also one of my favorites. Some people in the DC universe didn't like it. Some people did. It's kind of an elsewhere kind of deal. Elseworld. Sorry about that. Elsewhere. That's a different show.
Saying Elsewhere. I was into that.
Was Gotham, and I love these two characters, James Gordon and Harvey. And man, what a great casting on this. I know this is totally off from the comic books, but I love these two. I mean, these guys have each other's backs. Harvey with his alcohol problem, James, covering him. How they have each other's back in this seedy underground world of Gotham. So I really enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Now, on the next one, you probably can chime in on, and I think this one you probably can give some more information on right here.
Frodo and Samwise, two of my absolute favorites. And this one's always been interesting to me, because in the movies, they look very similarly aged. Yeah. But as you read the books, and if you listen well in the movie, you gather it's some kind of bromance, but Frodo is considered considerably older.
Yeah.
It's almost father-son. It's like college age brother with a little brother that's just getting out of elementary school. Exactly. There's a big age difference there as far as they're concerned.
Kind of like our bromance.
Exactly. You're so much older than me.
I know. I knew that was going there. So anyway.
I am so older than you.
No.
I'm not that much older, but I'm a little older. But I do love them. It is an amazing story, the whole thing. And it's Samwise is told by Gandalf not to leave him, but I don't think he would have ever left him, even if Gandalf hadn't said that.
Yeah, there's definitely and if you had to rate them, they should have been on the very top 5. Because of, if you want to look at their bond and their relationship, and they would lay, basically laying their life down for one another. So
absolutely,
so it's a good choice. This next one, even though it's not officially a bromance, but I had to throw it in there because, especially the scene where she gave her life for her bud, and this one right here, Hawkeye and the Black Widow.
Yes.
I mean,
this one is kind of fascinating. It is. Yeah. It is more of a bromance than anything else
in the MCU universe. Yes,
in the MCU, exactly. Yeah. I don't know that in the comics I'm sure they crossed paths, and I'm sure they were in comics together. But I don't ever remember there being a firm relationship between the two.
I was doing some research on it, and I could have gone to They Got You Cover, which don't ever go to. I don't know. Anyway, but I thought somewhere in the comics, unless it was a fan thing and there was type of romance between the two characters, I may be totally wrong. I haven't, but anyway, as far as the MCU universe, that one particular scene where she gave her life up, and in Hawkeye, he was devastated. It's kind of like the same thing with WandaVision, with Wanda and Vision. Especially that scene where they're both, after Tony's funeral, they're looking at the lake, that poignant moment where they talk about the loss of their best friends or Wanda's love interest. So, anyway, I thought I would throw that in there, even though it's not the same as the rest, but I thought that was interesting. But
I'll let that one slide.
I had to throw that in. I figured. The next one, of course, is
Rocket and Groot. I love these two.
Yeah. I mean,
I love these two in all iterations. Groot in all three versions.
Exactly.
Baby Groot, teenage Groot, adult Groot.
Exactly.
It's a great matchup.
Yeah, I think so. The next one is kind of a bro club on this one, and I have it as a number 2. The rest of them I kind of threw together, but this is actually number 2 of my pick of bromance. Would be, of course, Kirk, McCoy, and
Spock. And this one's kind of interesting because it's kind of, it's kind of, they're all three, but then it's Kirk and Spock, and then it's Spock and McCoy, and it's Kirk and McCoy. It's
and that'll be something we'll be able to talk about a little bit later about some of the tighter bromances and see which one are actually tighter than others. But I saw that and I was interested in that. But my number 1 pick, and you probably know me, my number 1 pick is Chewbacca and Han Solo. Debate me, but I think that within itself.
I'm good with that one.
I'm good with
that one being number 1. Yep, I think it's a great one.
I'm going to do some quick. These are non sci-fi, and some of them you never may have seen.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions of TV shows.
Some of these I really love.
So this one right here, I have as a kind of a number 10, I guess, is Dwight and Michael from The Office. There's kind of this. It's a weird friendship. It's kind of friendship that uses one another in a way. Idolizing, but at the same time, I'll stab you back to get up the corporate ladder. Anyway, it's Dwight and Michael Scott is one. This is the next one. A whole lot of people may not know. It's from me and my wife just finished the series, and I really like it. It's called Burn Notice, and Bruce Campbell is like one of my favorite go-tos when it comes to those kind of B movies and shows. And it has to do with a relationship about a Michael Weston to your right. He's basically there's a burn notice on him where they do a burn him as a spy. Yeah. And he's trying to figure out who burned him, what happened. And of course, Sam is basically his best friend. They used to work together back in the day. Sam's the ex-Navy SEAL. And of course, the whole show, which some other cast of people. But these two kind of have the bromance where they have each other's back no matter what. So I like this one. It's one of my favorites. The next one, it's the BBC version, not American version of Holmes and Watson, Sherlock.
Yes, okay. Sherlock. This one's great. I really like this one. These two match up so well. The characters are so different. Yeah, but are so tightly wound together.
Exactly.
One irritates the other just as much as the other irritates the first.
But as through the series, you see how much, even though he's Sherlock is kind of a functioning psychopath. He's he gets to know that John is his only and best friend, and there's a relationship there, and you see it go deeper and deeper. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, it's a great show. Yep. Love it. I can watch it over and over again. The next one, if you're a fan of Scrubs, these two guys.
These two are funny.
These two are hilarious. I used to, my wife had me watch them, and I've never never saw it before. And JD and Turk, you want to talk about juveniles, like children. This is the couple, and of course the next one, whether you're a fan of the show or not, you can't deny these two guys, Joey and Chandler Bing.
Yes.
I mean, you can't deny that at all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
On my next one, and this is number 2, which was kind of hard, but if you're a Community fan like I am.
Now, I don't know much about Community.
Community is basically, these people coming back. Let me get this off here. Coming back later in their life, trying to get their education at this little rinky-dink college that everyone voted. Basically they had a contest voting for what kind of flag, and when they voted for it, it looked like a butthole. So that's the kind of show. Chevy
Nice.
Chase was in it. Mikkel was in it. So anyway, it was a good cast. But these two right here are hilarious. It's
Nice.
Abed and Troy, and so these two guys, hilarious. Now my number 1 pick, and one of my favorite TV shows, is Psych.
I love this show. This show is stinking funny.
You want to talk about guys who are like a bromance since they were children? I can't think of any show that just amplifies that a bromance between like these two guys. I mean, it's freaking hilarious. Great show. You haven't seen it, you need to watch it. One of my
Psych
favorite
is
shows.
worth watching.
One of my great shows.
We stumbled upon this show in reruns, my wife and I, but it was great.
Yeah, it's an awesome show. Watch it. And I added one of, and before we get into the bromance debate, I added one, and if I had to bump them all around, I think number 1, the best bromance ever is Ricky.
I didn't need to see that.
At least I put a fruit basket.
You did. Yeah, there's a fruit basket there.
I'm hearing some moans from the podcast wife over there.
I heard the podcast wife in the background.
Yes.
Yes. You can take that off.
Can I take it off now? Okay.
Yeah. Our viewership went down.
Down right away. I know.
Oh my gosh.
But now we're going to talk about some of these bromances that have more than one person, and sometimes your relationships are tighter than others. Yeah. And we're gonna give our opinion on this. And the one specifically that you were talking about earlier, of course, was Kirk, McCoy, and Spock. Which is stronger. Yeah, you have McCoy, and of course you have Captain Kirk, and then you have, of course, Spock and Kirk. So, what do you think in all of this? And anybody out and those out there, we want your opinions. Who do you think are a tighter bromance?
See, I am a little conflicted. So I could see, when you talk about bromance, I could see all 3 pairing up individually. So you've got Kirk and Spock, Kirk and McCoy. You've got McCoy and Spock as a third option there. Mm-hmm. I think they all work, but I think probably it's going to be Kirk and Spock as the two I think are the strongest. Because like Spock and McCoy, they have kind of this weird attachment thing, and then if you get into the movies, they're swales, and mind transfers and weird things that happened. Why did he pick McCoy?
Exactly.
But I think if you go back original show, ignore the movies, I think it's got to be Kirk and Spock. What do you think?
I think so too, especially at the Wrath of Khan, where afterwards, Spock gave his life. You see that relationship. Even then, he, when he was in that little radiation chamber, whatever that chamber was, I forget which one it was after. Was it on the Wrath of Khan, or was it?
Yeah, it was Wrath of Khan.
Okay. He said, you will, the quote Spock said, James Kirk, you will always have and will always be my friend. And that came from Spock, who's non-emotional Vulcan.
Right.
So that, to me, that's words are, spoken from a Vulcan. That's a big deal. So, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So I'm going to put something on the screen right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just Tiffany, you missed this comment, and I think we need to put it up. Jason Hamilton would like a copy of that photo for his ceiling.
Like the Sixteen Chapels. Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Yeah, just there you go.
I heard Tiffany moan again.
It definitely wasn't ecstasy. It was more of disgusting. So. So I agree. I agree with you, Spock. This one is interesting too. I don't know how much of Picard that you've seen, but the next one here is also Star Trek oriented. Picard, Data, and Geordi.
That's interesting. Interesting. See, I don't think of Picard as having a strong relationship with anyone.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like he doesn't. I feel like he doesn't have a good bromance with anybody. He's just large and in charge.
Yeah, I think later on when Data, and I can't remember which movie it was, where he gave his life to protect the crew, and if you watch Picard at all, you see that a lot of the show has to do with redeeming the sacrifice of Data, and so Picard has a lot of these dreams with concerning Data. And you see this friendship, even in his dreams, he's playing chess, with Data. And that's the only reason I brought it up. But yeah, if I had to sell it, it would be definitely Geordi and Data.
Yeah, I think so. If we're going to pick a bromance on that show, I think it's those two.
I think so too. The next one is interesting, and some people go, I don't understand what you're trying to do here, but...
Oh, hey, bring up Todd, before you bring that picture up, bring up Todd VC's comment just now. Riker had a bromance with everybody. That's more than I needed to know about.
Yes. I think that's a different kind of romance, but yeah. He didn't discriminate.
No,
he didn't discriminate.
So bad. All right, let's go to the next one.
Now, a lot of people, when they think of this trinity of Star Wars,
I like this.
You either think of R2D2, C3PO. You think of, and of course, I think of Luke Skywalker and R2D2. And now the reason this came up, a lot of people say, yeah, the bromance is between C3PO and R2D2. But if you see most of the battles and most of the closeness, I mean, even if you saw The Mandalorian, who's together? It's Luke Skywalker and R2D2. The same goes with Anakin Skywalker and R2D2. But as far as Luke Skywalker, and I don't know, it's a different pairing between the two. What's your thoughts on that?
This one's interesting. Because you definitely do have a Luke and R2D2 thing that goes on through, episode 4, 5, and 6. But I think R2D2 and C3PO, they are played as a pair.
Yes.
I think they're the bromance to talk about and think about.
They're kind of the Laurel and Hardy of robots. Yes.
Yes.
Daryl McCarty says, this is it. Those three together are the greatest brosome ever. So that's what Daryl McCarty says. So
I definitely think they all three work. I don't see Luke and C3PO together. I don't see them as they're a thing, but they're not. It's not a strong thing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They're separated in a lot of the movies. Yeah. C3PO kind of goes out on his own in a lot of the movies, but R2D2 is always there to get C-3PO out of trouble.
Exactly. Well,
So I think that one's the stronger pair.
I agree. I just thought it was interesting kind of look at that between the three. The next one is MCU universe is Tony Stark and Rhodey.
Yep.
But
I think this is a great pair.
Or how about Jarvis and Stark?
And you
had one more you mentioned.
I was going to say, see, this one Tony Stark gets weird because you've kind of got this weird Jarvis, Tony Stark thing. And then you've got, in the MCU very specifically, you've got Banner and Stark kind of as a weird bromance thing. But then you also have Tony and Steve Rogers.
Exactly, yeah.
It's kind of like Tony wants to be everybody's bro. But nobody exactly wants to be Tony's bro.
Because he gets everybody in he's the kid on the block that gets everybody in trouble, you know?
Yes, he is.
Like the kid from the Leave It to Beaver show, you know? Whoever his name was. Yeah, yes. So, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I know James Daryl McCarty.
The Hulk and Thor. We were about to say that one.
You beat us to it. Yes.
Yeah. Now, see, I will say this. This one, I think the MCU sells this one pretty hard. Well, I mean, they did a whole buddy movie. They did a whole buddy movie together, you know.
Basically.
But it's not Banner and Thor.
No, it's
Hulk and Thor.
Yes.
And it's not Hulk and Tony. It's Banner and Tony.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I definitely get that one. MCU sold that one pretty hard. I mean,
I think so too. Yeah.
You know, they were playful in the Avengers movies.
Exactly.
You know, you've got Ragnarok. That's a whole movie in itself.
Which is actually one of my favorite. But
Taika Waititi did an amazing job directing that movie,
and he does that. He knows how to put humor. Even the episodes of The Mandalorian that he's done, you can see his humor kind of seeps through there. So it's really good.
But then they built it up even before that movie. Mm-hmm. They built it up in the Avengers movie where they kind of, you know, they playfully would punch each other.
Exactly. I love that.
Out of the blue. I was like, well.
Well, they were having an argument in Ragnarok where they're in that one scene where they're talking to each other, and you know Hulk doesn't want to leave, and he keeps saying, he kept telling Thor, "You have baby arms."
Yes,
you have baby arms, making fun of his strength. Oh man.
Oh yes, this is now. I thought about this earlier. They're trying to build this up as something. Thor and Star-Lord. I don't know if it's going to be something.
How are they going to do that? How that's going to work with the whole, you know, I hate to even say it, Padme becoming Thor. that whole thing, Thor, Love and Thunder.
Well, I mean, you've got Thor has two hammers. Well, he has two weapons now.
Yeah.
You know, so my prediction, okay, I'll throw out my prediction. My prediction is Mjolnir, the hammer, is going to go to Jane Foster to become the female Thor.
Mew.
And Stormbreaker will stay with Thor. Thor,
yeah.
Because he doesn't have a. That's odd. In the comics, in the old comics, Thor actually had a human personality as well. He would actually change himself into a different person. But we don't see that happen in the MCU at all. And I don't think we're going to. I don't think he's going to lose Mjolnir and just become a general guy.
Gotcha.
You know, but I think that's what they'll do. They'll separate the two weapons. One will go to Jane Foster, the other will go to him. You know, then we've got the Asgardians of the Galaxy, which is, you know, there's a whole comic series on that, which I have not read. I don't know a whole lot about it. Star-Lord is too insecure to maintain the bromance. He's high maintenance. That is actually what I was thinking when we were talking bromance.
Yeah.
It popped into my head, and my first thought was, I don't know if it's going to be a bromance. I think there's too much animosity.
I think so too.
I think there's too much insecurity for it to work. I think it's a bromance from one side to the other, and it's not the other direction.
I agree. I totally agree. That's a good point, Todd.
This is a man, a real man, not like you.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Oh my goodness.
This is my ship. This is my ship. Sure, you're in charge. Sure you are. Are you really? Really? I love that.
Oh my gosh.
The next one.
Do we have any more in that vein?
I don't know.
Did we explore all of that weird connection? I think we did. I think we got them all out there.
Okay. The next one is Clone Wars series for the animation. You have one of my favorite characters, Captain Rex.
Yeah,
Ahsoka.
Rex is great.
And then you have Captain Rex with Anakin Skywalker, and Captain Rex was basically Anakin's go-to clone. They fought together over and over and over again. The debate for me is that Captain Rex and Ahsoka, he kind of formed this mentorship, even though Ahsoka, who's a Jedi, outranked Rex.
Yeah.
But there is kind of this elderly father type of to daughter kind of deal. And also in it, they go through Order 66 together. And I don't want to give nothing away if you haven't seen the series, but I kind of lean towards Captain Rex and Ahsoka. That was kind of my thing. I love the series. Me and my son's watching it again, and we're looking at and we're watching because he's never seen it, so we're finishing up season 7. So really good stuff. And so anyway, that was my there. I know that you're still watching it, so I don't want to get into all of that.
Still burning through that series.
This one right here, I threw a bunch of this out here.
There's a bunch of names on this list.
Yes, right here. So, what do you think? James Gordon and Batman? Do you think, and I know this, you got Nightwing and Batman, which we all know there is some animosity there. There's some, a little bit of, I mean, how many Robins can Batman kill? So anyhow, yeah,
so bad.
But again, James Gordon and Batman, is it more of a respect or more of a professional or more of a, I mean, they don't really hang out a whole lot except when.
That's what I was thinking. When you put this on the list, actually this whole list of people, I thought this is kind of an interesting list because you've got one more person on this list.
Yes,
as well.
I do. I have Alfred
and Bruce or Batman.
Yeah.
It's just such an interesting list because to some extent there's a little bit of a bromance, kind of, but there's a lot of professional relationships.
Exactly.
There's some family weirdness, because Alfred and Bruce are almost more like family than a bromance.
Exactly.
But it also kind of depends on the version of Alfred. Like the latest, the last Alfred was much closer in age to Bruce.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel fatherly to me.
No, it didn't.
It felt more like, I don't know if it felt like a bromance, but it didn't feel like the elderly Alfred looking after Bruce.
Now you're talking about in the Justice League, or are you talking about
in the Justice League? Yeah.
I know in Gotham, you focus on Bruce Wayne as a boy. And of course, Alfred is he has this kind of, he has to walk this line. He works, but he's also his kind of his ward. He's his caretaker. He's his guardian. So.
Right.
There's
I'm thinking the Ben Affleck Batman, he was such an older Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
And Alfred was a much younger Alfred than we've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
They
Jeremy
felt
Ryan. Was it Jeremy Ryan? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They felt more like compatriots. You know, more like we're working together for a common good versus I'm looking out for your good.
Yeah, different. Yeah, besides the Dark Knight series, it was a little more the Dark Knight trilogy.
Much more fatherly. I've been looking out for you your entire life.
Exactly.
You know, take care of yourself. I care for you.
Exactly.
In the Affleck movies, it was more of, it felt less like taking care of you and more like, hey, make sure you don't forget your crap.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally agree with you. I just thought it was interesting because you see in the Batman universe, there's not, of course, the character of Batman. He's kind of a lone wolf, so he's.
And I think that makes it really hard to get a good bromance going.
Somebody was talking about, well, how about him and Clark Kent? Oh no.
There's no bromance there.
No, there's no bromance there.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, going back to the Jim Gordon thing, I feel like that's more professional.
Yeah,
it's more a professional relationship than a bromance.
Exactly.
I don't know that there's a bromance here.
Yeah,
maybe Batman and whoever his current Robin is, until his current Robin becomes a jerk and Batman becomes a jerk and they both destroy each other's lives.
Basically.
Which is
like most
pretty
families.
Much like most families.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe there's a bromance there early on. You know, Adam West, now that might be a bromance. Adam West, Batman and Robin.
That's creepy. Anyway. That's all I'm going to say. It's creepy.
It is. It is a little
That's
creepy.
all I'm going to say.
I'm hard pressed to make any of these guys a bromance.
I agree. I just thought it'd be interesting, kind of roll the dice and see what people thought about it. The next one is I think we can spend some time on this one right here. It's the Winter Soldier, Captain America, and the Falcon. And the Falcon.
So you've got Steve Rogers, you've got Bucky or Winter Soldier, whatever you want to call him. Then you've got Bucky. Falcon. This one's hard because you definitely had some bromance early on. Before Steve Rogers really becomes Captain America.
Exactly.
It's a brotherly kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then
Bucky used to watch over him because Bucky was a strong one. Bucky was the the one that Steve wanted to be like because he could get in the army. Right. He couldn't.
Well, and in the early comics, you've got the reverse where Bucky is kind of the Robin. He's the Captain America Robin.
Exactly.
He's the young up and coming. He's he doesn't have a super soldier thing, but he's athletic and he's strong and he's he can keep up with Captain America.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's still the sidekick.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's some strong connection there.
Yeah.
So I think that one if we focus on the MCU, since they're all closer together.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's hard to place them well.
I think so too. It's almost like different periods of time. You talk about Steve Rogers and Sam. Is it Sam Wilson?
Yep, Sam Wilson.
Sam
Falcon.
Wilson. They, they're both they're both kind of ex-vets.
Yeah.
He, especially after the blink.
Civil War.
After the blip. Yeah. After the blip. There was a lot of, Rogers was at the VA a lot, and that's where Sam Wilson worked at a lot, and they had a friendship and did a lot more with each other, as friends. And I think at that time, Bucky wasn't around. I think that eventually that's the whole Winter Soldier thing of it. But see, again, Steve Rogers did everything he could to try to redeem Bucky from,
See, I think the issue that I take with, as far as MCU, this is strictly MCU.
Strictly MCU is what I'm talking about on this.
Steve Rogers and Bucky, I don't feel like that that's a strong bromance because there was so little connection for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said, Captain America is trying to redeem Bucky,
Yeah.
trying to clear his name, trying to get him, back to the good side, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I don't feel like it was a bromance exactly.
Well, kind of like this, the scene, I put this here because this is where older Steve Rogers gives Sam Wilson's the shield.
Yes.
And so, it makes you wonder, why did he, and I mean, I understand the comics.
Why did he pick Sam?
Or why do you pick Sam? And that would be interesting. And of course, this may be some stuff that we find out within the series that are coming up.
I have predictions there.
And I think in the series, between Sam and Bucky, I think they may become more of a bromance than the others that we're talking about, Steve Rogers and either one of them.
I think they started trying to build that up.
I think so too.
I think in the movies they were trying to build that up just a little bit,
to
get them ready. And I think in the long run that's going to be better than Captain America with either.
I think so too. So, again, I think when
Todd Vesey says, "What about Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd?" Speaking of, there was one that I picked on Mike for leaving off the list, especially off the honorable mentions.
Yes, I know
that we didn't put the IT crowd on here, so we don't have Moss and Roy. There we go, Moss and Roy. Yep, fail.
That was epic fail. That was an epic fail on mine.
There's some weirdness in that relationship,
man. But I guess number one on the list. On the list.
No.
So anyway.
Okay, so my daughter is listening in, apparently.
Yes.
And so she texted me, and do you watch Big Bang Theory?
I've seen it. I don't watch it
you
all
don't
the
watch
time,
it. See,
but I've seen it.
I watch it. I enjoy the Big Bang Theory. See, there's a couple of bromances on that show. And, we've got...
I know. It would be Sheldon and
Leonard have their thing going. And then we've got Raj and crud. I can't think of his name. The other guy.
Yeah.
Howard.
There you go.
Raj and Howard, they've got their bromance going. But, they were kind of in our honorable mention states. They're not really part of our sci-fi fantasy bit that we were doing. But they kind of fit in with the Moss and Roy thing.
Exactly. So, I had to throw that in. Yeah, I'm glad you said something. My favorite guys, I left off the list. Man,
you left them off the list. I couldn't believe it.
I was trying so hard to find others, but anyway, it was the concussion right there. So, anyhow, so yeah, man. So that was a lot.
I know.
That was a lot.
Anything else? Somebody said. Going back to the Thor and Asgardians thing. Somebody asked, is the bromance going to be Thor and Drax and Thor?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think Drax will be in awe and will flatter Thor often.
Yes.
But I don't think they'll be the bromance.
I just don't think so.
I think they're going to try to push Star-Lord and Thor as a bromance. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think they're going to push it.
I think so too. So, but yeah, I think you're right. I don't see them as being that close, that tight. It's the same thing with Lord, him and Thor,
Yeah.
I don't see that combination happening.
I don't
Star-Lord.
think
Star-Lord, yeah.
Star-Lord. I don't think it'll be a bromance. I think it'll be fun. I think to get Taika Waititi back on board, it'll be fun.
Get him involved, yeah.
But I don't think it'll go that direction.
I don't think so. Man, I think I have exhausted my list. Anybody else out there have any comments? Anybody you would suggest on the bromance list?
Any other bromance list you throw out there?
Throw it out there. But right now, I think those are the people that I came up with. Those are the ones that
Yeah.
I think are bromances. If we forgot any, hey, what we should do is have it on SAS Nerds.
Yep.
The SAS Nerds group, we'll have a post, and everyone can put their comments in. Who do you think should have been on the show as with a bromance? And that
Absolutely.
would be awesome. We should do that for tomorrow. And we're also So if you want to join the SAS Nerds group, we are on Facebook. Be sure that you invite a friend, or when you ask to be invited or to join, please answer all the questions, read the rules, agree to the rules, or we won't let you in. That's just the way it is. Just the way
And
it
you can
is.
find us at facebook.com/groups/SAS Nerds.
Yes. We're also on there, Something About Something.
Yeah, that's our Facebook page, and on Instagram.
And on Instagram. And we also have our YouTube. Yes, right. On the YouTubes, which is, we haven't got our 100 yet, people. Help us out, okay? We need to put a link out there.
Oh,
okay?
Todd VC threw out an interesting bromance.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I agree with this being a bromance. Venom and Eddie Brock. I get where he's going.
I get
with
where
this,
he's coming from, yeah.
But I'm like, that one's creepy and weird.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy, yeah.
Let's see. Can I have a bromance with the monster that inhabits the costume I wear?
Okay, that's interesting. It's interesting. Think about, okay, how about Banner and Hulk?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that. Because remember, they were kind of fighting it with each other, you know.
Yeah.
Where Hulk's
Can they
wanting to
have a
come out and-
bromance?
yeah.
I think that one fits along with Venom and Eddie Brock.
I think so,
that's
too.
a similar
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know that I have a word for that one.
I don't either, but Todd, because of Todd, that came to my mind. So yeah. Man.
That one's good. That was good.
That was good. Hey, I don't know. I know next week we're going to be, I guess, we'll be back on Wednesday again, Wednesday night live, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What we're going to do, I don't know yet. We're going to have to.
I don't know what we're doing. We need to look at our list.
Look at our
If you
list.
guys have a show idea, let us know in the group. We'd love to hear some show ideas.
We did do the poll. We did a
will
poll.
never
and,
guarantee that we're going to do a show that you recommend, but
because we're just,
because we're just that kind of jerks.
Yes. Plus, we're just. This is not our daytime gig. So yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, man, it was a good show.
It was good.
I really
I enjoyed
it.
this
I have nothing else to add.
I think that's about it.
I need
we
to go
ready
and
to
I
end
have
this
to.
thing?
Yeah, I got to get some ice for my head. So yeah, we could do
There's
that. That'd
that.
be great. Yeah.
Might have to go get an X-ray for that concussion.
Yes. Well, I've never been accused of. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. This has been the Something About Something show with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my buddy and bromance partner, Mr. Ricky Pope.
Never show that photo ever again.
I'm going to make sure she's not behind me. I'll send you a copy for your wife.
Oh,
No. Too much violence.